forget. Amazing. Done. Okay, cool. I have like 10 screens open. I don't like this part. Okay,
Never
can
seen
you
this
see
this
my
way.
slides? Sorry, Kristen, what was that?
I've never seen you do double screen. Look at how techy you are in 2026.
Girlfriend, if you just saw what I am seeing on my screen, and I have like a pretty small laptop, so there's like 100 screens open like this, and I'm like, I hate this. It's been requested. People like slides. You guys want to like look at something. So it's like making my little slides today. So please know I love you guys because I hate slides. Like it's not my thing. So yay. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate you. Dana is techie. So if I got like any sort of thumbs up from her, I'm winning. Amazing. Hold on. I want to make sure my chat is open. Bear with me. Okay, I think we're okay. We're good. Okay, so let us begin. Hi, everyone. I love you. Thank you for being here. My name is Timea Urban, the Urban Healer. I know there's going to be some more people joining, and anyone catching the replay, hello, hi. Did you like my scattered beginning? Because, we're keeping it real. Let me just close that off. Awesome. Okay, so I will do my absolute best to condense this into an hour, but as I was making my slides, I'm like, okay, we'll see. We'll see where she goes. But know that my chat is open. I might not see it until after, just because if I have like the double screens, I don't know if I can do three screens. Okay. Like that is where I draw my limit. So that being said, please do keep all of your questions in mind, anything that you want to ask, because I am absolutely here for it and I want to answer that for you. Today's masterclass is all about the 6 hidden patterns that are keeping women stuck. And yes, I'm calling out women because men don't have this. They just like wake up and they're like, hey, I'm just so amazing. And I'm just like, but you're really not. Wow. Okay. So men have this like inflated ego, which you know what? You do you, boo. But when it comes to women, we're just like, ah, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. I need another certification. If I don't have PhD beside my name, well then like I've done nothing with my life. So like I don't know. I'll just play it small. And lovingly, I am so sick and tired of watching these amazing women do this. And I'm calling out all of you. Some of you I've worked with, some of you I have not, but I'm calling out every single one of you because guaranteed you will have at least half of these. And I made a very extensive list on how some of these patterns show up in the sneakiest way ever. And just know, step one is always just having the awareness. So the fact that you showed up, yay, so glad. And know that this isn't a like, I am shaming you, you're failing, da da da. Like, that is not what I'm doing at all. What I am doing is letting you know that you are not living life to the fullest. You're not letting your magic be shared with the world. And your magic can be whatever it is, whether you run a business, whether you don't run a business, but you're just not living life to the fullest. And I'm just sick and tired of watching women do this around me. So whether they're friends of mine, whether they're clients of mine, whether they're colleagues, I'm just like done. So I made a masterclass, I made a program, and here we are. So in case you do not, oh wait, did I not? I did. See, I didn't even know where I put my slides. So agenda for today, made an agenda because I got a lot of type A ladies in here. So we're going to do a little bit of a grounding, obviously, because we must. I'll do that after my intro for those of you who don't know me very well. We're going to be talking about why your nervous system resists change. And this is sneaky. Really wish I knew this in my 20s, but here we are. Then I'll discuss the 6 subconscious patterns that are blocking you. And I mean, like cock blocking your joy, abundance, and wealth. We do not want that. I'll mention some very real life examples because some of these blockages, they're so sneaky. And then it's just like, oh, but that's just how I am. Oh, that's just how I was raised. I'm just being polite. No, you're not. You're just playing small and we don't like it. Obviously, we're going to do a somatic exercise and then we'll have a moment for integration and questions. So, that being said, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Timea Urban, the Urban Healer. I keep changing my hair, which is super annoying because I keep having to get new branding pictures. I am due. I know. My background is neurosurgery, trauma, nursing. I'm technically still a nurse, don't really nurse that much. I'm a podcast host, I'm a speaker, I'm also a life and success coach. I love combining these 3 pillars, and until I had all three of these in my own practice as well as integrating them for my clients. I just felt like something was missing. You have to integrate your body. So whether it is how are you feeling? How are you emoting? What do you do with big emotions? What are these aches, pains, tight places? What is that and why is it there? Nervous system regulation. If you're caught in fight or flight, nothing's manifesting. Your body literally thinks you're going to die and it just wants to keep you alive. And life is too short to be living like that. And then, of course, last but not least, your subconscious mind, it runs the show. And if your subconscious beliefs are not aligned with what you want to create in your life, for example, if you're like, I want to run $1 million business, but you think money is bad, those two aren't aligned. So you're not going to have that business that you want and desire. So we just want to make sure things are all aligned and things are clicking, and then you get the things that you want and desire. Alrighty. So let us ground. I will invite you to either close down your eyes or just find something to focus on. And let us land in this space. Let us be here. So take a second to take a nice big breath in and just follow that breath. Follow the inhale, following it from the very tip of your nose all the way down towards your lungs. And just notice how that creates a ripple of movement through the body. This beautiful, simple, gentle wave. And then, of course, I'm sure you're already exhaled, but on your next exhale, just let out a big breath and just make some sound. Sound is good. Sound is important. It's a way that we move and shift energy, and it's also a way of shifting emotions. So just feel the body, feel what your body feels like in this moment. How was your day? How was your week? How has 2026 treated you so far? And we're just practicing awareness. We're not changing anything. We're not shifting. We're absolutely not looking for perfection or forcing it to be a certain way. And what if you allowed your breath to be a little bit deeper? On your next breath, let the breath go all the way down to the feet. Breathe into your feet. Humor me. And then when you are ready to exhale, I'm going to invite you to let out a sound. Deep ha. Feel that vibration through the neck. Hello, vagus nerve. We love our vagus nerve. Good. And then just take a second to set an intention. Why are you here? What would you like to accomplish? Are you aware of a certain belief that is keeping you small? Or perhaps you're just curious. You're like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. You're just staying open. Let's take another big breath in together. Big inhale. And sigh it out when you're ready. Yes. So good. Welcome back. So, for us to be empowered, we need to have awareness. And when we're aware, we'll start noticing some of the outdated beliefs, patterns, ways of being that aren't serving us. And the thing is, we're taught that we're small men, which we're not, and it's discipline and you force it and you just go. And that doesn't work. So we don't rise to our goals. We actually fall to our programming, which is actually great because it showcases where there are limiting beliefs, where there is still stickiness in our subconscious, and where we can move things. And unless our nervous system feels safe, unless our body feels safe, you're never going to choose differently because we are programmed to choose the same thing over and over and over again because predictability feels safe. And the thing is, women aren't lazy. They don't lack the discipline. They don't lack the motivation. They don't even lack the consistency, especially the women who are in my world. That is not what's lacking. What's lacking is that we're actually terrified of feeling good. We're terrified of letting good things come to us. We're terrified of finding those amazing clients that actually pay us really well. We're terrified of having that, that like soft exhale and you're just like, ah, and you get like ooey gooey and you're like receiving. That's what we're terrified of. And that's how life should be. And life is never fully regulated, and that's where we live. Absolutely not. But there are moments that are so abundant and so beautiful, and then we don't let ourselves receive it. And I'll obviously dive into that in a moment. So, the big thing, and like this really shocked me years ago when I found this out. Our brain, our body, our nervous system doesn't actually want us to be happy. We're not programmed to be happy. We're programmed for negativity. So if you're a negative Nancy and things stick in your head and you hold a grudge and then you have resentment and you just remember all the bad parts, that's actually just your body working. So there's nothing wrong with that. Your brain is always going to want to keep things the same, prevent change, keep things familiar, because that means that there's predictability. And even if you don't like what's coming, you know what's coming and that feels safe. And you're never going to choose happiness, joy, expansion. And of course, we've all heard this. All of our growth is outside of our comfort zone. So if nothing's changing, that means you're too stuck in your own little bubble. And being in your bubble isn't a bad thing, but you want to just make sure that the bubble grows every once in a while to make sure you're letting more goodness in. 90 to 95% of our behavior, our habits, and how we actually behave in this world and how we are being is subconscious. And as you guys know, your subconscious mind is developed between 0 to about 8 years of age. So when you're little, you're a sponge and you're just taking everything in. And I know this isn't new info, but it's kind of wild that how you are as an adult now, and most of you are above 20, is like what happened when you were between 0 to 8. So you were in like grade 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden your subconscious was developed. That is terrifying. And we're not judging our families, but of course, our families are also going to have some limiting beliefs and they're doing the best they can. And just like society and the world and what we saw, I mean, Disney movies killed romance for us because we were all looking for Prince Charming. And then we're like, that's not how it works. Interesting. So again, we need to be aware of these patterns. And once we're aware of the patterns, we can tweak them and shift them. And I just want you guys to remember you don't actually sabotage your life because you're broken or damaged or something's wrong or this is just how life is. You're simply doing the thing that you were taught before, whether it was modeled to you, whether you've had previous experiences of this, and you're just repeating the same thing over again because for some reason that feels more safe. But then logically, which like 5-ish% of your brain is just like, this sucks. I don't like this. I wish this was different. But then, unless you're going to do the work with the body, the somatics, and you're going to do the work with the nervous system and the subconscious, as much as you're forcing and pushing, you're never actually going to get there. And I want you to get there, whatever your there is. So, the first belief that I wanted to focus on is going to be generational trauma, things that are inherited. And when we look at this, we're not looking at this from a perspective of, oh my goodness, my bloodline sucks. Why didn't they do differently? Why didn't they heal this trauma? Oh, now it's given to me. And I was in that mindset for a very long time of like, oh my God, you didn't do the work. So then you taught me all the wrong ways of doing life. And then now I'm trying to process it. A lot of people I work with end up being the cycle breakers, which it's uncomfortable, but it's actually really beautiful because when you are the cycle breaker, you heal something for yourself, but then you've also just like created this ripple of healing into your bloodline. So anything that your previous ancestors couldn't actually move through, you moving through it gives them that purpose and the relief of, oh, okay, it's done. And it's hard, yes. But then what you have on the other side, that expansion, that peace, that openness is so beautiful that it is something that I really, really recommend leaning into. Now, that being said, I would also say take a moment to consider how many times have you heard things like life is hard? This is just how it is. Money doesn't grow on trees. And you've watched family members, whether it's your parents, grandparents, or whoever, whether they're immigrants, whether they're not immigrants, but you've seen them do that like hustle, grind, push, go. And then you've learned that that's just how it should be. So if you didn't get raised in this super abundant, wealthy world where everything's just given to you and you have that, not in a bad way, but like a bit of a sense of entitlement of like, of course my life is this good. Of course that's given to me. If you weren't given that, then you're going to have that core belief that life is supposed to be hard. And this is going to show up in multiple ways. So this can be, this is like, I feel like a lot of people might have this when you really struggle just like sitting still. And you can't just like sit or like be on your couch. And this is so funny. I actually bought a couch. This was like years ago, like a good decade ago. And one time somebody came over and they're like, your couch sucks. And I was like, why? It's so pretty. Look how nice it looks. And they're like, it's so fucking uncomfortable. Like, didn't you ever notice? And I was like, no, because I don't sit on it. Why would I sit on my couch? I'm like, I don't sit on my couch. I'm busy. I'm so busy. I'm always doing things. Okay. I don't sit on my couch. But then, wait, you're supposed to sit on a couch. Like, you're allowed to just like chill. You're allowed to just do nothing. And if there's any sort of guilt when you're slowing down or you're not doing a lot, or you're always trying to prove yourself of like this badge of honor of burnout and you have to like show your worth with effort and you've just learned that like everything has to be hard and it's like you're almost proud of that being like yeah but I took the hardest path look at me and you're like blood sweat and tears but then you could have taken like another route that was gentler but then you didn't because you're that person. You're the person who's so resilient, so independent. You're the strong one. And you have to like earn that. But that's not true. We're all deserving because we are. And if there is an easier way of getting somewhere, like please take that path. But if that wasn't shown to you, then that's going to feel really scary. And it's just going to feel uncomfortable. And often, in terms of the common family patterns, women end up overworking. They end up being burnt out. They end up, doing it all. Like they're the caretaker, they're the breadwinner, they're the fixer. They're just everyone's support system. There's also an association with money being stressful. And even if there was always enough money, you always have this like fear of like, what if it runs out? What if there's no more? There's also a shove down your emotions. This is such a generational trauma, especially like I feel like extra if you're Eastern European. We don't feel. There's no feelings, there's no emotions. Of course you're allowed to have a cry, but like never. Don't let anyone see you or hear you. And if you're gonna cry, it better be like 2.5 tears and then like wrap that shit up and like let's fucking go. And that is also something that like we're just taught, like, oh, I'm not allowed to take a moment to rest. I'm not allowed to have a moment to cry. I'm not allowed to just go have a moment to do nothing. And there's a little bit of tension as well when you see other people doing it, and it almost irritates you if you do have somebody in your life that has an easy life. Oh, everything's given to her. And this is such a huge thing that shows up, and it's going to make things harder than they need to be. So I'm going to ask you guys, take a moment to reflect. Are you uncomfortable with being in ease? And do you sometimes create moments of struggle? Like it's like, okay, I can take my groceries in, one go, or I could do two goes and then not absolutely kill myself. I mean, we all do that. But you could technically take another 4.5 minutes and take another route to go and grab your groceries and carry them in. And I know that some of these examples are like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. I'm just trying to be efficient. There's a fine line between you're being efficient and you're forcing yourself to change and you're forcing yourself to be a certain way just because you have experienced that in the past. The next thing, this is so huge, your fear to be seen. So there's this core belief that if people see me, I'm going to be judged, I'm going to be rejected, I'm going to get attacked. And I will say that unfortunately, there's truth to this. We do have a thing called cancel culture, and we do see, especially women, who will get absolutely violated online and ripped apart, while men kind of don't, even if they deserve it. And this is something that unfortunately is in our heads, being like, well, I can't take up too much space. I don't want to be seen too much because if I am, what if someone comes after me? So this can show up as you're procrastinating, posting things online or sharing your work, or maybe you have a beautiful, beautiful business, but like nobody knows about it. That's a thing. Let's say you're writing content, but you don't actually publish it because it's not perfect enough. Perhaps you're in a group setting and you don't say anything because you don't want to stand out or ruffle any feathers. You probably overthink every time you're around other people. And you're just like, did I say that right? I don't want to cause any problems. And even if you know you're right, you don't say anything because you don't want to cause anything. It's okay. It's all good. No worries. I'm low maintenance. It's okay. You're the chill girl. You compare yourself to others, and this is such a thief of joy. You're looking at what other people doing, and especially when you do this on social media, it's fucking curated. Like you don't know what's happening behind closed doors. You do not know. So then you're comparing your life to someone's curated, highlighted, like brightened life. And then you're like, fuck, I'm doing it wrong. Fuck, I'm behind. This sucks. And you also bring yourself down a notch. So you want to play small. You don't actually let people know what you're capable of. And this is funny. I was talking to a job recruiter at one of the events that I've been to, and she said that men will apply to jobs they're like 20% qualified for. And it is the biggest waste of time ever to even just go through their application because they're just like, what the fuck? Did you read this? But then women are so overqualified and they still won't apply because, oh, I don't know if I'm worthy of that. And that is going to keep you small. And this goes whether you have a business or not. I mean, if you have a business and you're scared to be seen, how are your clients going to find you? But then let's say in your personal life, if you want to meet the love of your life or you want to meet your like bestie, but you're scared to go places and like say something and actually like be seen or heard, then no one knows you're there. You're hiding. So if you're hiding, how's your beautiful, abundant life going to find you? So in terms of this, I would really recommend you guys to consider, are you underpricing your services? Are you waiting for the perfect time to share? Are you not launching something because you're like, oh, just, could do one more course, one more healing session, one more book, one more something. This is such a trauma we have. So then, do you want to be visible or do you feel like you would rather just hide? And it's like energetically, I'm just feeling like, when you put your hoodie on and you're kind of like, boop, 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 like the teenage, like, I don't want to, I hate the world. If we're in that energy, all the things that you want and desire will never find you. And you're also giving that energy out to the universe. If you're just like, okay, bring me my dream clients, the universe is like, bitch, I can't see you. Where are you? I don't understand. What? This is confusing. So be seen. And I just want to preface this as well of you don't go from like 100 followers to 100 million followers. Usually, most people don't do that. So if you're like, I'm scared to be seen, okay, cool, cool. But can you be seen by like 5 people and then like 50 people and then maybe 100 people? And it's just getting out there in bits and pieces. So it's never all or nothing, which is something our brains always tell us to do. The next one is it doesn't feel safe to feel joy. My podcast is called Discover Your Joy. Okay. I say this from personal experience, and this was such a big epiphany in my business and in my own personal healing journey when I realized that people are actually not scared of pain and suffering. People are so scared when things go well. And then we all get this like weird, like jittery energy of like, what if the other shoe drops? I do not understand this saying. What shoe, whose shoe? If you drop it, you pick it up. Like I do not comprehend what that means at all. But we get anxious when things are going well. We have a really hard time enjoying good moments. And it's almost like you work so, 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 so hard to get something, and then you get it, and you're like, yeah, yeah, no big deal. And it's like, wait, that's actually a really big deal. You worked really hard for a really long time to get there, but you won't take that second to celebrate it. Well, I don't want to brag. Um, Men do. Uh, mm, and you're not bragging. Can you not acknowledge what you've just done and what you've accomplished? What? And let's say something really good is offered to you, and then you get suspicious, being like, scam. Mm-mm. No way. We do that. I mean, there's also a lot of scams you do need to be careful, valid. But sometimes we will meet that dream client, and you will meet somebody who's like, hey, I want to pay you an absurd amount of money to do this. And you're like, what? Stop. You literally wanted this and you manifested it, and now it's in front of you, and you're like, no, hot potato, don't want it. Stop. Eat the potato. Potatoes are great. Okay. So when the opportunities come, I want you to take it in. And this is so, so, so important because we're constantly thinking about all the things that can go wrong. And it takes some practice to interrupt that way of thinking and take a second to be like, well, what are all the ways it can go right? I don't know, because it could. And that's something that I had a really hard time with initially for my condo because I was like, oh my goodness, like no one's gonna rent to me. I'm a business owner. I look sketchy on paper. Da da da. I have a dog. Nobody likes dogs. My condo building is a zoo. Like there are so many dogs. Like I'm gonna say probably 65% of the people here have at least one dog. It is insane. And all the worst case scenarios that I was like thinking about, they didn't happen. And they usually don't happen. So then we need to take a second to get really creative and think about all the good ways good things can come to us. And sometimes, and like I've seen this definitely with some of my married clients or my clients who are in long-term relationships where they want things to change, things are changing, they're in a flow, things are going really well, and then all of a sudden they're just like, let me just cause some shit. Let me just, I don't know, let's throw a wrench in the system. And it's like, what? Why? And they're like, yeah, but things were going too good. Stop. No. Next thing, self-sabotage. Something big is coming. You're getting yourself ready. This I see with dieting. Let's say you've been really good with your workouts, you've been really good with what you're eating. Some really big event is coming up, and you're like, oh my God, this is so good, love it. And then all of a sudden you're just like, let's fuck shit up. Let's not. Let's just, I'm gonna eat the tub of ice cream. And it's not don't indulge, but then if you're doing it because literally your nervous system's like, oh shoot, I'm actually starting to look a certain way and I feel really good about my body. I'm getting attention. Oh my God, what do I do with the attention? And then you freak out and your nervous system's like, oh, we gotta abort this. Let's not. The last one I'm gonna say is receiving compliments. How many of us have friends that cannot take a compliment? It's like, oh my God, I love your shirt. Oh, this whole thing, it's like $5. How about thank you? Thank you. That's it. Oh my God, your hair looks so good today. Oh my God, I washed it today. I usually don't. What? Stop. Ladies. Like these are not random things I have never seen. These are all things I see all the time. And literally just receive. Someone's like, you look really great today. Thank you. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to say. I have literally seen women like crawl out of their skin if I said something nice to them. And I'm just like, I'm not like pouring hot oil on your body. Like, why do you look like you're in pain? Please just take the compliment. Like, it's coming with love. So when we have that, this is something that we've just experienced. Maybe in your childhood things were going really well, and then all of a sudden something happened. Maybe you thought, life is great, and then your parents got divorced, and you're like, no, life is not great. Trust nothing. And this is also, let's say you have parents that had a really hard time feeling emotions. They had a really hard time feeling joy. They were skeptical. They were super negative. And we're not judging anyone, but we're just noticing. And when we're noticing, we have the awareness. And when we have the awareness, we can interrupt it and we can choose otherwise. So, as a reflection, do you struggle to lean into that goodness? Like the image that I'm getting is let's say somebody just cleaned their house, everything's tidy, everything's looking good, and she sits on the couch, she puts her feet up, and then she's like, I didn't fold the laundry, gets up, you know? As opposed to like, fuck the laundry, I'm just gonna sit here, look at what I just did. Everything's so clean and tidy, I'm so happy, right? Uh-huh. The next one is your inner child is running the show. So the way that I picture this, and there is a podcast episode coming on this because it's just too big of a topic to do in one slide. Anything you haven't resolved as a child, you're going to have an adult tantrum version of that later. And there's no way around it. If you do not know how to take criticism, if you do not know how to have a conversation in conflict, if you don't know how to be alone, your inner child is going to have a big kid tantrum, except for now you're older. And that can show up in so many ways. I mean, the number of women I see, their inner child is running their business, and you're just like, wait, a temperamental 3-year-old is running your business right now. I was like, please don't come back to your 20, 30, 40-ish version of you that has so many resources and so much wisdom. So the core belief is I'm not enough, I'm not loved, I'm not valued. Any of those big statements of you're just lacking. So you have a hard time holding criticism. You're terrified of things abandoning you. So whether it is a partner, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a client, and you're having a really hard time in terms of that healthy exchange of love and attention. You do not know how to set boundaries at all. So you're that people pleaser. You're also someone who over apologizes or you over explain. You feel like you have to take in everyone's energy, everyone's emotions. So if you've had family members that are emotionally unstable and they did not know how to hold big feelings, then you became the fixer. And then you're like, well, if I hold your emotions, then hopefully things will be okay. You always want validation. You want people to tell you things are good. But then you're struggling between the I'm too much to I'm not enough. And then you literally can't win because you're going from one to the other. And you're obsessed with perfectionism and you don't want to make a mistake, which is actually hilarious. I have a typo there and I'm literally like, okay, this is proof that AI did not write my slides and I did them myself. Thank you. But someone else could be like mortified, being like, oh my God, I'm a shitty coach. I just made a mistake. What does that look like? I'm not professional. I mean, I swear. So I'm immediately not professional. I'm just real talk. So that is I. Now, with that being said, you will have a hard time with authority figures. You're also going to have a really hard time with rejection. You're going to have a hard time with feeling like you're being ignored or you're excluded. And emotionally, you just don't know what to do with yourself. Either there's no emotions or the emotions are really big and they're exploding, but there's no in between. You can get heated without there being an explosion. You do not need to numb out, but you also don't need to obviously bite anyone's head off. So, as a moment to reflect, are there situations where you revert to a younger version of yourself? And this usually comes out with family members or with siblings because you revert back to that younger version of yourself because of the situation. And that is just something that happens. Also, why, and this is like, I haven't done like solid research on this one, but I'm going to have to look into it. People are so scared of being judged by their elementary school or high school friends. What? Why? That's so dumb. You're not 10. You're not 14. Who cares if they're the mean girl? Side note, one of the mean girls from my high school ended up being my fucking client. Like, she gave me money and I took it. Thank you. Okay. So who cares? But we have, like Jandy said, we have a fear of making mistakes. So this is huge. And we need to take a second and pause and actually call ourselves out, being like, oh, am I being a temperamental 4-year-old right now? Maybe yes. And that's not a don't have that feeling, but let's just figure out where that root is and actually move through that sometimes. Hello, we do. Luteal face, don't come at me because I will attack. Can I get an amen? So, number 5 is you're disconnected from your intuition. Before I get into the list, this is so frustrating because especially us in our age group, like you had no choice. Like you had to go on birth control because everyone was on birth control and it was just given out like candy. And I was reading an article and I was like, this is actually sickening. Millennials were the ones who were given the most birth control. And they're the ones who pay the most money for IVF now. Oh, how interesting. What a surprise. So you told us to repress our bodies and literally like kill our reproductive system. And now you're taking how much money for us to have a baby because we're struggling? Are you kidding me right now? That's disgusting. But we were taught that. Don't be seen, don't be heard, don't complain, don't be too emotional. Oh, you're tired. Oh, you're so weak. I'm sorry, I'm not a robot. I'm also not a small man and I have a cycle, which I'm very grateful for. But we're not taught that. So then through our entire life, we are taught how to ignore our bodies, our intuition, don't listen to it. You're being too much. No, 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 no. But then that turns into I can't trust myself. And if you can't trust yourself, then you don't know how to make those big decisions. And you're going to overthink every decision. You're going to ask other people for advice. Don't take advice from people whose lives are a fucking dumpster fire. Bless, if you're not where I want to be financially, like where you, if you're not where you know what I mean. If your finances are a mess, I'm not taking financial advice. If your marriage is a mess, I'm not taking marital advice. But people give you the advice, and you're like, no, 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 I'm good. You're constantly feeling like you're stuck between two choices. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? And when we have those loops open, your brain, your nervous system is done and fried. You're constantly over researching things. Another article I read, women will spend hours researching stupid things like a pair of pants and like making sure they get the right size, the like right, like what's inside, is it organic and da da da. But then when it comes to, let's say, making investments or buying a house, they're like, yeah, whatever, sure. Stop. Guys, don't do that. We also ignore our gut feelings. My goodness, we ignore the red flags. We ignore the like weird little sensations like, oh, I'm just overreacting. No, you're not. Your body's telling you something. You stay in situations for too long, you disconnect from your body, you numb out, and the numbing out can be anything in between drinking to drugs to being busy to being distracted to online shopping to scrolling, all the things. And then you're just exhausted from the decision making, but it's because you're like, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? But then really you know what to do, but you're scared to do it. And this is really unfortunate because then you're not going to notice those subtle sensations in your body that's telling you, do this, don't do this. You're constantly getting feedback. And something that we don't realize is the mind body connection, 80% of it is body to the mind. But then we spend most of our time in our head making decisions from our logic. But then our subconscious is about 95%, and our logical mind is 5%. Guys, we're making huge life decisions with the smallest amount of our knowledge, wisdom, and intuition. Please don't. So, to take a second, are you disconnected from your inner knowing? Are you disconnected from that voice? And we all hear that like nagging ego voice that's really critical, really loud. But then we sometimes don't hear the take a nap, send the email. It's a hard conversation. Just send the email. That's a no. Mm-mm. Don't turn there. And it's like when you listen, so many good things come out of that. And then this one is another big one. You're living life on how you were told to live your life. Your worth is depending on meeting these expectations. This is tricky to untangle just because we're being inundated with information on how you should live your life. You should have your 2.5 children. You should be married. You should have that white picket fence. You should somehow be the breadwinner, but also the stay-at-home mom. And you better have a fucking sourdough starter pack going. I don't know, make it gluten free. And you need to have chickens and you need to have cows, but you need to wear your stilettos and like, your hair better be clean every day. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, let's do some math. That's not reasonable. So we get stuck doing what everyone else is doing because we're seeing things online and then we're comparing and we think we're doing it wrong. And then you're also like, I need to hit certain timelines, but then you don't want to, but then you feel like you're behind, but then they're doing it. So I should do it, but I don't want it. But do I want it? And then when you do achieve those really big things, you feel empty inside because you're like, did I want that? I got my check mark, but like, was that what I wanted? And then you feel this like overwhelming restlessness because you're not meant to be here. You're meant to be there. But over there, that feels scary because I have to get there and that's outside of my comfort zone. So you're going to stay here, but here doesn't feel good. Then you also have this huge fear of disappointing your family or people who know you in a certain way. And the thing is, when you change, you cause a ripple of change. And if all of a sudden you were always that people pleaser and you were the doer and the fixer, and all of a sudden you pull back and you're like, I don't do this anymore, or I'm not available for that, ugh, people aren't going to like that. And that comes with feelings and emotions that we need to deal with. So if you're having dissatisfaction and you don't know why, and I mean, this is a huge one for me. If you wake up exhausted and you're like, fuck my life, I hate this. And then you go to bed being like, oh my God, I have to do this again tomorrow. Babe, something needs to change. Something's wrong. And we all have seasons of life when you're like, this sucks. I don't love it. And if there's seasons and there's an end, amazing. That's great. Life is not always sunshine and rainbows, but overall, you should really like your life because our life is really, really, really short. So check yourself. Are you happy with where you're at? Are you happy with what you've accomplished? Is there like an inner knowing, like you might be like, what the fuck? This is kind of hard. But like, I know I'm in the right space. I know I'm headed in the right direction. So then just reflect on that. Are you fulfilled with what you have? Or is there like a feeling of emptiness? And really, truly, your body, not your head, because your head's going to be like, you need to have that $1 million business. You need to own like 10 properties where you're 45 chickens, unless you want the 45 chickens, of course. So check yourself on that. So, that being said, I want to run through a little somatic exercise. And this is just for us to take a second to reflect. Does everyone have one of those beliefs that stung a bit, that triggered a bit, that you're like, oh, fuck, I feel seen, but not in the way I want to be seen? Does everyone have something that kind of stood out to them? You don't need to share necessarily what it was, unless you want to, of course. So I invite you guys to close down your eyes and just take a second to scan your body. And we're just noticing and just start acknowledging how your body feels because your body's always giving you a message. So if something is tight, if something's hurting, something's agitated, totally normal. And then just take a second to wiggle your toes and feel your ground on either the ground or whether you're laying on something, but just connect to your toes. You have feet, you have a body that's so special. And you're like, all of a sudden, oh my goodness, I'm not just caught in my brain in the loops, in the to-dos and the rushing. All of a sudden, you realize there's a body. Now I'm going to invite you to think of something that you really, really want. Is it more success? Is it more money? Is it a new home, a new relationship? Is it just inner peace? Like, what is it? And get a really detailed image or sensation of that. Some people aren't visual, so you're not visual, no big deal. But just take a second to acknowledge that. Is it the house? You can see the house. Is it the relationship? You feel the person's there. Is it the money? See the money in the bank account. And really imagine if you got it. I have a magic wand, whatever the heck you want. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you right now. You don't have to do anything for it. No strings attached, no fine print. Here you go. It's here. It's arrived. It's in front of you. What happens to your body? Was there a beautiful sensation of expansion and joy and receiving? And you're like, fuck yeah, give it to me. Or was there something within you that felt tight, tense, closed, little nausea, throat closed, heart dropped, belly got kind of funky? There's no wrong way of feeling. And then where did your mind go? Is there anything bad that could happen if you receive this? Who would judge you? What would you lose? Why is it more work? Is it unsafe? Are you terrified if you fuck it up? And just think of that bit of a loop of where your brain goes. Who do you think you are for having that? That won't happen to you. It's too late. You're too old. You don't have the time. You don't have the energy. Bop, 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 bop. What's coming up? Real talk. This is your subconscious. She's running the show. And then as you're having those thoughts, what's your body doing? Is she relaxed? Is she soft? Is she still here? Or have we lost the sensation of our body? Do you still have feet? You have feet. Now, we're just going to acknowledge those thoughts, those beliefs, and those sensations. They're trying to protect us. They're trying to protect us from something that seems unsafe. And your body doesn't suck. It's not trying to punish you. The universe doesn't hate you. None of that. She's trying to protect you. But maybe you don't need protecting. Maybe this isn't actually helpful. It's like if you have an outdoor dog and they bring you like a dead squirrel, they did it with love. You don't want the dead squirrel, okay? Those are the limiting beliefs we do not want. So then the sensation that you're feeling, if you can connect to the sensation, what does it look like? Imagine it as either a symbol, an object, like is it a rock? Is it like a sticky, gooey substance? Does it feel like a leash, like a dagger? I want you to just imagine what does it look like? What does it feel like? What is the color? What is the temperature? Is it heavy? Is it light? And the more characteristics you're giving it, the more I want you to realize it's not you. It's like this external thing. It's like you put on a shirt and then you're like, I don't like this shirt. You can now take the shirt off. You have not become one with the shirt. That's ridiculous. And in case you can't connect to the sensation and you're connecting to the thought, imagine that thought, it's something that's floating outside of you, or it's on a sticky note, it's on a piece of paper, it's just over there. Like it's not your brain. You can remove the thought and you're not going to remove your brain. Again, that would be ridiculous. But we're just creating some space, some distance between the sensation or the thought and you because they're not one. You are not your thoughts, and thoughts are not facts. Now I'm going to invite you to remove it. And you can do it however you want. You can pluck it out, you can rip it out, you can just move it to the side. And then, however, your body wants to alchemize this, you can throw it down in a cliff, you can throw it into the ocean, you can throw it into the sky and it becomes stardust, whatever you want. Set it on fire. I love setting things on fire. You can smash it, but I want you to imagine you're doing something with it. And what we don't realize is our subconscious thinks in pictures, and our subconscious is a reflection of our physical body. So it needs to have physical movement. So for us to even just move it to the side, and like, is it this heavy cloak you're wearing? You can take it off and just put it over to the side. No, thank you. If it feels like a leash that's constricting you, take it off. You have hands, move it and then get rid of it. Get rid of it however your spicy little brain wants to get rid of it, but we're getting rid of it. Set it on fire, throw it, smash it, whatever you want. See you later. Do the thing. And now that you've done it, take a nice big breath in, big, 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 big breath, expanding your lungs, your ribs. Ribs are expanding left and right, front to back, up and down. Like you are a vessel full of fresh air. Beautiful. Fill up a little bit more. Yes, please. Exhale, side out, let it go. So good. And take a second. Take a second to scan your body now and just notice. Is there a little bit more lightness, a little bit more space? Sometimes there's more sensation, and that's okay. We are meant to feel things. Sometimes there's a lack of, and it's just neutral. Neutral is amazing. Yes. And now that you've shifted or moved that, and you've like de-weeded your subconscious, like there's this beautiful, fertile soil, and you can plant. You can plant something else. Do you want sunflowers? Do you want roses? Do you want wildflowers? But like, you get to plant. And when we take out the weeds and how you have hands, you literally rip them out from the roots, see you later. Then there's space and you can plant anything you want and desire. So right here, right now, I'm going to invite you to plant a seed. And it can either be something really bold, big, and juicy, like calling in the love of your life. You want to have the $1 million business, whatever it is, like, yes, get it. I love it. But maybe it's something small. It's one extra client this month, a random injection of cash, doesn't matter where it came from. Yes, please, we'll take it in. Making a new friend in your Pilates class, like whatever. Like it can be something small, something big, something medium, you choose. And I want you to plant it. And I want you to imagine whatever you want and desire. We're just going to put it into the soil, put it in, put it in, put it in, cover it up, give it some water. There's sunlight. Yes, please. If you're a Reiki practitioner, hello. Bless it with some Reiki. Yes, yes, yes. And then let it be. Let it be. And imagine it was that easy. P.S. It is. We just have to be aware of the shit that's holding us back, see it, acknowledge it. Once we shine some light on it, it's actually not that scary. We get rid of it and we choose something better because we can. Life is that easy. It is that magical. And then you set an intention. You give it some love. You trust the universe. You trust divine timing. You lean back. Yeah, you got to do some stuff every once in a while. Give it some water. Make sure there's sun. Yes, yes. But you're co-creating. And it can be that easy to receive. Let's take another big breath in. Let it go. Yawning is great because that means your parasympathetic nervous system is on and activated. Yes. And slowly, gently come back to now. So I want to remind you guys, mindset work isn't enough. That's 5% of your brain. That's it. And discipline and motivation will not get you through the hard times. It just won't. You have to upgrade your way of being and your identity, and you're the person who does the thing. When you were 3, you probably didn't want to brush your teeth. I'm going to make an assumption all of you brush your teeth at least once a day. And it's not like, oh, I don't want to. You do it. Like you're whatever. So that's how you shift your identity. Because back in the day, when you were little, you're like, this is stupid. I don't want to do it. But now you're mature and you're like, I just have to. I have no choice. So what if your identity gets to shift and transform? Because suddenly your subconscious beliefs are aligned with what you want to create. Your nervous system, it's not regulated and calm. Your nervous system is just expansive and flexible. So when life throws you a little shitstorm, you know what to do with it and you don't shut down. And then your body is your ally, it's your friend, it's your vessel, and you understand what it's saying. I know if I'm getting a little bit of a headache, I need to lay down. I was on my computer too much. I know if my low back is acting up, I know what that means. I know if I'm getting constipated, ooh, she's not emoting. She needs to feel some emotions. And then I do that. And all of a sudden I'm like, boop, we're good. So that's the secret sauce. And I feel a lot of coaches out there are ignoring the body. Which I'm like, hello, all of your clients have bodies. We should probably pay attention to that. Everyone's like, nervous system regulation. I was like, yeah, but do you know what that means? No, you don't. Got it. And then your subconscious mind, I think more people are talking about it. But if you're only talking about the subconscious, you're missing the 95. bit of you. It's important to remember that. So I do have a program I just created. I'm quite obsessed with it. I'm currently in round two, the second cohort. I'll brag, 75% of the people who did it in last year are doing it this year because they loved it so much and they love the community. So just saying, bomb ass women are in this community. It's a unique space where you can converge healing, growth, and empowerment. We're going to go through the six core beliefs every single session. We go through one of those and we will create something very specific to the cohort that's in front of me. I have all of my modalities, but then how I combine them is always going to be based on who's in the room, what the needs are, what the questions are, how people are resonating with certain material. So you always get the replay, you always get the audio of the reprogramming that it's created live on our calls. You also have an opportunity to ask all of your questions. And then I have kind of like a Q&A audio session, which I upload for you guys. And of course, an absurd amount of bonuses in terms of EFT tapping, hypnosis, and somatic practices to do the integration and the embodiment work. We start March the 18th. March is now spelled with two R's. You're welcome. We meet on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. The sessions are 75 minutes long, and you get lifetime access to all the content. So just remember, people don't fail because of the lack of discipline or drive. They fail because their subconscious was like, nope, nope, unsafe, scary. And if you've never had the experience of having certain good things, which I will guide you guys through hypnosis and somatic work, then you're always going to say no and you're always going to revert to your old way of being and you're never going to get to the things that you want and desire. In case this is something that interests you, some of you here are already signed up. So, hey, I'm so excited. You can save $300 until tomorrow at midnight. This is like such an easy way of working with me, and you get so much content. I've created this according to what all of my clients have struggled with. And I've made this into like the juiciest, most potent course I could with still not having like the rushing energy. So 3 months, lots of processing, lots of embodiment. And when you're getting stuck, you can ask me because I'm there. So what? I did it on time. Oh my gosh. Before we go, I'm going to invite you guys to put your hand on your heart. And this is so corny, but it actually works because we're releasing some oxytocin and you're actually holding your body because you remember you have a body and you're giving yourself some love and self-compassion. Ooh, needed. And I just want you guys to know you are worthy of joy and you're worthy of that. Yes, please, more, please, life. Of course that fucking happened. Of course that synchronicity came through. Of course I booked that client. Of course I got the condo. Guys, it's possible. So just take a second and just acknowledge you have put in so much work, so much, sometimes suffering, so much pain, so many sacrifices to get here. But there's so much goodness still ahead, and you are so deserving of all of that. So just like give you guys that love. Thank you for being here. I can see the chat. If you have questions, I'm here. If you're curious about the program and you want to ask me anything, I'm also here. You guys can always email or DM me as well if you have questions in case you guys want to do it more privately. I don't know how to, wait, yes, I do. I'm like, how do I unshare? I can do this. Can I do this? Yes, I can. No. Hold on. Share options, LOL. Here we are. We're not unsharing. I did slides, and this is what has happened. Also, it's now dark and ominous. I need to think of my lighting situation. One thing that's not ideal living in a loft. Does anybody want to share what they like shifted and moved? Does anyone want to share what they made room for? I'm also all ears. It is dramatic lighting. You should see my bedroom because it has no lights inside. I'm a cool loft girly now. Amazing. So, so, so good. Okay. Please send me a DM and tell me how this was for you, what came through, how did I call you out on your bullshit lovingly. And I would love to see you guys in the program, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay.